I want to talk about Jonathan Cannon because I think he's really in play in the first round, maybe even for a haircut. And I think he's really interesting because I think he fits the Seattle model. He's a guy that doesn't walk anybody, and that's already a huge plus. He's been up to 97, and he's a tinkerer. So he came to Georgia. He was throwing strictly two-seamers. They weren't getting the job done. So here's the stats for this year. 78 innings, 12 walks. Last year, 63 innings, 13 walks. So that's a walk per nine of 1.8 and 1.4. So certainly fits the Seattle Mariners mantra. Not a strikeout guy right now, but he's turning into one. So this year he added a four-seamer, which missed a lot more bats than the two-seamer was missing. And he added a really, really good cutter. And I think the cutter is what has teams very interested because that missed a lot of bats too. He can turn over a changeup. He's got the slider. He's got the curveball. He's got the long 6'6" body. Gets down the mound really well. Like I said, up to 97. He's a guy that during the first 2 years, and this is why he didn't get drafted last year, his first 2 years on campus, he just didn't miss bats. I mean, he'd get taken out.
Did he miss some time last year too? Didn't he get sick or something?
I think he did miss time with COVID. I think he missed 4 weeks with COVID last year. But I think he's the type of guy that has the intrinsic ability to throw strikes, and he's the guy with the 6'6" body, can get down the mound, and has not yet understood how to really use the four-seamer as a weapon. And I think that's the type of profile that would really appeal to Seattle, because this is not a guy that has been a dominant college pitcher yet. But remember this, they are very comfortable drafting out of Georgia. They've done it a million times. Hancock,
the state,
Lewis,
and the school.
Ford, they've hit Georgia hard. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if it's Cannon. And I'll counter what you said. I don't think he'll be available at 64. So I think it would either be a first round or nothing.
Right. Cannon at 6'6", what's he about, 215, 220? So there's still a little room to add some weight there too, like most college kids with that. Yeah, I would love that kind of a profile. He was pretty good on the Cape before the draft last year, despite the fact that he
was just always a pitch to contact guy, and now he's starting to figure out I can miss bats other ways.
It's interesting adding a cutter at the college level. Not that it's unheard of or uncommon necessarily, although I don't think it's super common, because once a kid gets to the big leagues, his pro club is going to say, your 80 to 83 mile an hour slider is really a curveball, no matter which way it breaks. So we need to find something else firmer. You throw 95, we need you to throw something firmer. George Kirby's slider became firmer. Logan Gilbert's slider has become firmer. And they also have curveballs they can throw up there. By the way, George Kirby had a great curveball in game one of the Angels series, and he started to throw it against Houston. That was a lot of fun to see. So you get a guy like Cannon who's throwing a cutter that's more in the upper 80s instead of the low 80s. Now he's got an extra weapon. He didn't need to replace the slider. It's an entirely different pitch that he can throw. That's really interesting. That's really Jonathan Cannon out of Georgia.
Some fun food for thought, kind of compounding off what you just said. His pitching coach at Georgia said, stop throwing the cutter. Command your fastball. Learn how to hit the corners. And he just kept throwing it. Corey Collins just kept putting down the four. Throw the cutter. Throw the cutter. Throw the cutter.
Hey, it's Jason Churchill. To get the full episode, as well as every other episode of the podcast, past and future, subscribe for as little as $5 per month by going to bit.ly/getthepod. That's bit.ly/getthepod, all one word. A link you can also find on my Twitter profile. Hey, thanks for checking out Baseball Things.